Just gonna wait for viewers to come in a few moments. Um, I also just was reminded I wanted to quickly check something. Okay. It was that quick. I'm also going to do one additional thing for the setting this up now that we're rolling. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got back from doing our errands and um, it made sense for G to do a couple things. To do something and then bring the dog out and then and then yeah, really looking. We. That's not what I clicked either. I clicked this and then I clicked this. There we go. Yeah, I didn't know. Hmm. Although I don't believe in anything. I can understand how some might be okay with the Q label, but the person I don't really get. It doesn't mean that means well, it does, but then it can also mean. Anyway, sorry for the slow start. Like I say, I'm just waiting for people to tune in. You can skip ahead if you're seeing this afterwards to get to the content. Hopefully, there will be some lovely content within this. I don't really have a lot thought up ahead of time. It's kind of what comes up in the chat, but I'll see if I might think of something. I don't know. I just kind of felt more like rolling one than watching one at the moment. I'm actually not that tired from going out earlier, but yeah, it was pretty productive and nice. Hmm. Hmm. So yeah, the topic or one of the topics that we can have in this is the idea of uh, what it means to be a late bloomer. Do you feel you're one? Does one come to mind that you know? What do you feel defines that? Um, I just thought it might be kind of an interesting topic. Um, Also, I mean, pretty much anything else. And if you have song requests, I'm happy to do them. Um, yeah. Um, and had a weird experience in a cab today. I don't know if it was because G had that driver recently or if it was just the holidays. Uh, he said, just $10 sound fine before we'd even done the drive. And then he was like, oh, I think it should be less than that. I thought that sounded about right. And it was less than that. And just, there was something else where we were saying should taking a different route because it would have been better. And I thought he was going to hike up the price, but thankfully he didn't. He did it accurately and yeah, use the thing, which is supposed to use, even if they count up fast. Um, what I'm thinking of doing is just very, very quickly running upstairs. And one of the things I want to get is the other cell phone because we have a lovely viewer here. I've only been rolling for about 8 minutes, but I think you've been here for about three now. And I have a feeling you might be putting something in the chat. And although it looks proper on this side. I feel like I'm not wearing my shorts. Even though it looks proper on this side, I'm not seeing other than what I put there. So I'm gonna go get that phone and you know load it up there too. Um, just because if you are commenting, I want to see it and read it. Like I don't have a lot thought up with this, but we can certainly kind of talk on the idea that I have. And yeah, I'll be right back. Glad to have you here. How are you doing today? Feel free to say where you're watching from, if you've been done before, and how you came across it. And perhaps, maybe it would be mean of me to do this. Maybe, I don't know. But perhaps I can tempt you with some cool looking, with some yummy looking pastries. We got a eggnog shortbread, creme brulee cheesecake, thing, and a couple croissants. I don't want to tip it too much, but I know you're like, oh well, thanks. I'm sure you hopefully have something in your cupboards or whatever you might be able to get to have when you enjoy this. Don't get your fingers too messy because I want you to be able to type. So just I got them today and I was kind of thinking about them. But I'm gonna have them later today and tomorrow. And yeah, I don't know. It won't take more than 2 or 3 days, I'm sure. But yeah, sorry to entice you with that. I'm sure you have something yummy. You can either that or hopefully you get something too for the holidays or before. Oh. didn't put this light shirt on. I don't really want to put the big hoodie on, and I have a good chill. So, and I should put this back over there as well. Did I put the backpack there? I guess I did. Oh no, it's here. I dropped it here. Oh. Oh, baby. Okay, here we are. There was somebody here till I left, but they weren't seeming to say anything, but they were watching anyway, which was nice. But and it still indicates that there's somebody here. It doesn't there, but it does here. So I don't know. But a chat does not just mean one way. So I think people see that and they should know that it means that it's open to anybody who wants to chat. So come and want to chat. I guess I could pause that one. The other one, I don't know if I really want to watch the other ones. So, and there's actually a bit of a curiosity to me as to, because there is that other way of viewing it too, I suppose. Um, yeah, but that's not. That is not that section. Probably easier to see it via here, I think. I don't know how I got this kind of elongated so I could see things better, but I guess I can scroll. Well, no, it's still not showing all of them that way. I don't know. I just feel like it's kind of being a little bit nothing like that. So, yes, aside from general chat topics, I've been rolling super long, but I'm okay. Let's have a color here. There it is. The tender roll sometimes. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, I don't think there was anything really here this morning. Wow, sure am. He was around, but he was doing other things. So, You come in right as I'm singing a random song. Good weed. Just kidding. Just kidding. So yes. Um. Okay. I would have kept talking, but somebody left. Or the person that was watching. The only person that was watching left is what I meant to say. Can anybody else do that? I prefer not to. The way my tongue starts to get a bit sensitive, but I can't remember the details. Jake, that's really weird. That was the other day. I thought it said she was live now. Nope. Okay. Isn't that what that indicator means of like subscriptions that are live right now? That one does. Um, oh yeah, he's a thing guy. The other ones that's been the case, but with her it wasn't. It just try that again. Oh, it is okay. I don't know if I agree with the fact. Whoops, that the week finishes. I mean, it does, but then there's still the weekend, which is part of the week, as far as I would say. Oh, is that her name? Or their name? Ryan. Right on, right on, right on, right on. I don't know why that's still showing there. the heat on, so I have to remember that. I have to see what happened, but okay. I mean, even if I was watching something again, thinking, I eventually managed to sleep, so it's good. Yeah. Yep, so it was such a short amount of time anyway, compared to like the whole night. So, it indicates that we have somebody watching via the cell phone. I don't think it's counting, and it's not. Yeah, well, I guess I'm not watching via me on this one, but it's indicating, not indicating that on this when I'm doing this on the laptop. So I don't know what's up with that. Yeah, and as far as as far as a volunteer role, there really wouldn't have been a whole lot to do at it. Everything's all signed and labeled, and just making sure that people are following them properly. And the social interaction a little bit, but yeah. So when I look at that, even though it doesn't seem to be student for this one, when I look at that, it's fine with me that I have not gotten that opportunity after all. But definitely most of them I think I should, or many of them rather. Hmm. That's the weirdest photo I've ever seen. Well, it looks like it's almost blue, right? What the heck is it for a Friday? Hmm. Got two people here, finally. And got a hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm doing okay. It's been a pretty decent day. Went with G and got some x-rays done, went for lunch. Happened to be walking past a bakery on the way home, so got some items. And then come home and relaxing. And yeah, how about you? Looks like one of the people left. It's not indicating the other one, but looks like he might still be here. Pretty good. I like that. That's pretty good response right there. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's an interesting definition for authenticity, by the way. I'm just trying to kind of wrap my head around it or think of what to say about it. And I'm also waiting for somebody to be here because I'm not sure if Study Relax Meditate and Joy is still here or not. I guess I haven't really been saying anything, so if they are, they might not be thinking of anything to say back. But um, it doesn't indicate it there. That's the thing. But I did notice, though, one thing that you said a moment ago I noticed, and but I want to make sure that either you uh, or somebody is here to hear me touch on it. And so I kind of want to touch on both of those things, and then maybe I'll do some music to round this off in a little bit here. But authenticity is living a life true to inner values rather than external expectations. I think my thought to that is we all do that, but I know I do. But I would say that a lot of people, and I'm not necessarily sure I would say I do as much. Well, I wouldn't say I don't though either. Uh, do the latter more than they do than they live to their true inner values. But I guess there's variables, right? There's dependent. It depends. And then study, relax. Um, there's somebody briefly there. Now it doesn't look like it, so maybe I'll wait again. Um, but I will say that I disagree that you don't necessarily feel a lack of pressure um, in connection to societal milestones, whether that's internalized or from the external. Um, it's very natural to feel that. Just like it's very easy to focus on internal goals and values as well as external stuff and comparisons. It's not always easy to seek new environments, cities, courses, um, sometimes, but where you can truly thrive rather than staying in soil that doesn't suit you is something I found online. Kind of interesting. And I thought that it was using a certain something, but um, it may not have been. Here's a whole website dedicated to it. It's never too late to be who you might have become. That's definitely a thing, though. I would say that a lot of people, they seem to be on a, as this article puts it, well paved path, um, where it just seems like all the steps line up and they climb them fairly easily. This is the thing, is I guess there's always going to be struggles for most people, but it does seem like, and maybe you might relate to this or know someone who does, it does seem like for some people it's not as smooth, not as streamlined, for lack of different words. And in some cases, it might be because you don't know what you want in life, but I wouldn't say at all. What was today? I thought, yeah, that's taking that might work for me here because I'm interested in that kind of stuff. So that's a worthwhile question. Um, it's a very interesting question, actually. Back to college at 28. I mean, I understand that a lot of people would be younger than that there, but that's not Not in the 30s yet. Even I'm going to say in the 30s or 40s doesn't matter, especially if it doesn't look old. That's interesting. That's a very interesting point. That I love that actually. Um, I love it all, and I would like somebody to be here to hear it. But again, maybe after the fact it will be. So far, this isn't that long. It's not going to be more than an hour, and it might not even be an hour. But and if I was to put some of this in the thingy, uh, in the chat, I have the chat summary on. Thought I'd try that feature. So, um, kind of reminds me of a lyric too. But the question of, um, does the life you're living feel right? Mostly, not mostly, 50-50, absolutely, positively, absolutely, positively. um, Chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not. Um, this person in this article, this blog, I guess is what it is, um, says, I'm not going to wait because, people can see this afterwards too. And the phone is still indicating that there's somebody watching, even though I'm not otherwise seeing that or any indication of it really. But anyway, um, that she realized when she was in college and as a 28-year-old that she wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. Uh, Life experience gave uh, a different perspective than some of the younger people. I wouldn't say that I would say that a lot of 20-year-olds like me in 30s or even you know 6, 7, 8, 19. I would say that a lot of them are quite confident. Whether sports has anything to do, being athletes or whatever may have something to do with it, or even in the performing arts. I would say that a lot of them are kind of confident driven. But this is kind of referring to how. And the first time I read it, I was like, "Yeah, that makes sense." Now I'm looking at it with different eyes, slightly, and I'm thinking, "Does it? I don't know." She says that she was more sure of herself. Um, I guess in the ways where you know what you're, or you feel more strongly what you're um, about and what you feel is worthwhile or makes sense or whatever, you kind of get a bit more sure of that. Um, it's easy to lose focus, so I don't know if I'd say more focused and more appreciative of opportunities and opportunities to learn. I think that one makes it especially makes sense. Um, I like that. A late bloomer often carries an unspoken judgment as though it's synonymous with falling behind, but who decides the timeline anyway? Good question, right? Somebody also said here, perhaps we're all late bloomers in some ways. So, how do you relate to this topic, or does somebody come to mind? They're like, I don't. um, you know, society likes to tell you you go to college at 18, you land a career by 22, and get married by 30 is what this is kind of saying, which is pretty common. That suggests there's a significant way to live. The bloomers challenge that narrative, whether we want to or not. You know, uh, they take their time, follow their own rhythms, and often reject societal norms in favor of authenticity. Big in the internet age, big with these next generations, of which I'm kind of in, kind of not, at my cusp in that. When we compare ourselves to others, we must overlook the value of our unique journey. It's not behind, it's just simply a different path. I'd like to agree with that, but at the same time, the different path can mean you feel very behind on where you're supposed to be in life, and it's so natural and easy to compare. But even not just doing that, from a fulfillment and purpose, uh, uh, definition as well. Um, and They think that the different path is one that's often richer, fuller, and truer to their inner values. Um, yeah, I mean, in some ways, I would say, like, because, well, I mean, and it's also my health and disorders and conditions, that there are certain things that I couldn't do. It wasn't that bad considering there was a market there and how busy. Well, I thought it was busy. That was, but I said, but like, waiting for P to come, you know, for quite a while. Then I went and got him, but um, it wasn't too noisy. But they had people from the other kiosks working behind one, and they had more than enough people over there too. And I don't know if he just, well, yeah. Anyway, but yeah. Anyway, so but either inner values or abilities. I think that we do it based on that, um, and partly because we need to. I would say, um, growing. It doesn't mean that you're behind. It means you're growing into yourself in a way that's meaningful, deliberate, and at a pace that is true to you. Um, I'd say yes to the first two. Personally, I would say no. This does not the pace of which a lot of the times I feel like it's going, not because I podcast a lot, not because I mean there are maybe some reasons, but also it's just kind of the way that life has been. Um, I would say is not true to me. The real me should actually be getting a lot of opportunities. But anyway, but I'm curious, how people might relate to these. Life experience as your superpower. This particular person says, by the time they went to college, they'd accumulated experiences that gave them perspective and purpose. Life experience can be a powerful tool. It helps you prioritize, empathize, and navigate challenges. Something very briefly there. I do agree, though, that knowing what you don't want or can't do is just as valuable as knowing what you do and can. I don't know if I'd agree that you're often less interested in chasing societal approval, but you might find that it's harder to get it, or that some people may need a bit of help understanding it. Um, the idea of falling behind is rooted in comparison. But what if we redefine success as something personal and fluid? Late bloomers remind us that life isn't a race, it's an evolving journey. Whether you're starting a new career, going back to school, or embarking on a personal transformation, there is no timeline on growth. That's interesting. Thoughts? That your timeline is valid. Your path is yours to forge. Embracing your own sense of time allows you to live authentically and fully. Embrace your bloom, it says. Thoughts on any of this? Somebody had said that we're all late bloomers in some sort of way. And so therefore, it could apply to various ages too. Um, um, we can also talk about anything else if there's something that either you would rather talk about or any songs you'd like me to cover. But I'm kind of looking at this topic and I'm kind of basing it a little bit around a blog that I'm looking at. Although, I mean, there's been a couple things that I definitely disagreed with, but yeah, I'm still looking at it. Maybe I should look and see what else I can find on the topic. But again, you're welcome to join in on the chat and bring it in that way too. Um, yeah, glad to have you both here, by the way. I welcome you here, and I'm curious if it's your first time to the channel and how you came across it. If you'd like to say, I'm here in Canada. If you also like to say whereabouts, or approximately about in the world you're watching from. Um, yeah, and I just think it's an interesting topic, and also the word "bloomer" is kind of fun too, isn't it? As far as I don't know. I just think it's an interesting topic. Oops, I have this back on top messages, so I'll put it on all, so that if you put anything, hopefully they'll show up. I'll try to put it on all. There we go. Yeah, hopefully everybody's doing well today. It was certainly a lot sunnier out than they said it was going to be, and it actually warmed up. And got a little bit less windy this afternoon, so that's been nice. Um, Hi, Jacqueline. How are you? At the moment, I think it's just you and me, but I think I remember you. I don't remember the numbers in your name, but sometimes YouTube does that. I remember you, I believe. Um, so I'm kind of recognizing your picture a little bit too. Uh, it's been probably a couple months. Is that right? Or at least a month? We've talked about your mother's passing in the past, if that's correct. And also, coffee is lovely. If I was doing this after the nap, although I haven't had the nap yet, I'd be saying, I want coffee, and I got some nice things from the bakery. So I'm really going to be amping it up on the sugar. I had a sugar free iced tea today, but there was also artificial sweeteners and the lemon. Yeah, I didn't like it actually. It's been a while. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Well, I'm glad that you're recovering. I know a few people that are recovering from surgery. I hate the idea and the thought of surgery. Ironically, a few months ago, my mother had a back surgery. She said they removed her spine completely to do it. So, so how long since you've had your surgery? I mean, I'm really glad you're here, and you're the only one here right now. But I don't know, kind of feels like the kind of thing. Well, you're recovering, you'd be sitting watching a bunch of live streams. So I'm not sure. I guess you got notified of this one, eh? Um, but yeah, uh, as far as this concept that being a late bloomer means that you go at your own pace. I'm just looking at this topic a little bit right now. Again, I don't agree with that. It can look like that. It can look like that, but this it's not, I mean, I have my moments, of success with my self-employment, but I'm certainly not going at the pace that I'd like to with it, you know. So I would call myself an old soul, but also a late bloomer. Um, and To me, I could be wrong, but I sometimes hear those as opposites to each other. But it feels accurate. So, um, um, but this is interesting because it also says here that you get to peak, like as in like rise, uh, um, later when everyone else is burned out. I don't know if I. That is from. Oh, okay. I'm not sure if I agree with that or not. Also, season's greetings. Want to remember to put that there, or however you wish to hear it. Um, and if there's any songs you'd like to hear, Christmas or otherwise, I'd be happy to do them. Um, I always like this category where it says people also ask, is it normal? Yes, being a late bloomer at 17 is normal. What? Even though I don't disagree with the person who said that we all are in some ways, I would think it's kind of hard to equate that somebody who is that young, they might have dreams and goals already and might not feel like they're reaching them, but they're young and they've got time. But you got to start when you're young because sometimes things take a lot of time, right? Um, um, Human development, physical, emotional, intellectual, and social, follows wide-ranging timetables. Comparing oneself to peers often misreads normal variation as failure. Onset and pace differ by genetics, like nutrition, and health, and lots of other things. More so, I would say. But anyway, um, and that's not what I'm not. Yeah, I'm more so talking about like with like life goals and stuff. Uh, I had it at the end of October today. Oh wow, it's quite a while. Makes 1 week without pain medicine. It's making my mental very not good. Oh, sorry to hear that. Yeah, we were at a hospital today. G was getting X-rays and got a phone call just as we were leaving and needed the ledge inside to write something on. And I happened to notice a guy. He was mostly mobile. It was like one of those hospital wheelchairs, and they only just brought him to the inside. I mean, she wasn't dressed to go outside, but and his ride was right there, or whatever. And I noticed he had a bag with a whole bunch of medications in it, and he was in his 60s or 50s maybe. And yeah, I mean, I don't want to say I disagree with medications and the need for them sometimes, but I just felt so bad for the guy, that he has like 5 or 6 different medications he has to take. I've never done that for myself, and I don't plan to, you know. And there are natural remedies, there are holistic, things that can be pretty good. Again, I'm not saying people go off your meds, but um, but I'm sorry to hear that you're struggling. It's weird. As we're talking about it, my back's a bit sore, but I think it's just I was kind of sitting where how I was sitting for a while there, and yeah. Just gonna turn on the light in here, although it's okay if it gets me a bit tired because I'll be going for a nap soon. But got 2 of you here. Feel free to both. Well, one of you already is. Chime in. G's gonna be finishing up what he's doing soon, and then taking the dog out for a walk. I think I've got my outdoor and exercise in for the day, so I'm good. Then we'll have a restful evening. Also, what are your thoughts on this topic, by the way, of being a late bloomer? Um, uh, yeah, I'd be quite whatchamacallit if this thing I'm looking at of the internet had said that it wasn't okay to be one, because whether we want to look at it as okay or not to be one, uh, sometimes sometimes it's just the way life is, you know. Um, I've seen a couple of things saying that it just means a different path, one that's richer and fuller and truer to inner values. Um, yeah, I don't know if I fully agree, but maybe somewhat. Um, what are the symptoms? Now we really know. Okay, but again, yeah, it's also confusing this for something which I hadn't even thought of, to be honest. Uh, and one of the reasons why I hadn't thought of it was because I was thinking about myself a little bit with this topic, and I am well past puberty, in most ways, anyway. um, I should be at my age. Thankfully, I'm not a late bloomer in that way. Chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not. Um, although it can happen apparently in your 20s, 30s, and 40s. Many age related changes happen, you know, throughout those times. As a child, Einstein was thought that teachers thought that he might be slow because he started speaking later than most kids, so around the age of 3. Hmm. I'm not sure if I bloomed, am blooming, or one day I'm gonna. Well, I mean, what? How do you define it? What kind of things do you think about when you think of that kind of stuff? I mean, this might be a bit deep for before my nap, but here we are. So I'll just, I think sometimes, if I really want to try and get sleep during a nap, which is shorter than through the night, maybe I need to ground myself a little bit. So, happy to talk about this topic. I'm initiating it, although I started off an hour ago, but it's been a bit of a slow slog with this one. But basically, when we need to rest and relax, we can meditate. We can just find different ways to ground ourselves and say, okay, what was the good that came from this? What is something I might want to look at more later, but maybe put aside briefly. So, yeah, as far as you're not sure if you've bloomed, I mean, I would think that would be pretty obvious if you feel like you've bloomed, wouldn't it? Am blooming? I think we always are, as long as we have a openness to learning and experiencing uh, different things in life, and trying to align them with our values and that, then I think that you are blooming, and you will continue to. So you're gonna a lot. That's how I. But yes, I mean we can certainly get more specific, perhaps. Um, like for me, I mean, it's my music career. It's my, if that's what we call it. It's the photography. It's the it's the even though the non-binary path. Um, the channeling stuff. I mean, I'm still doing it constantly, mostly constantly for myself. There's been some interesting things. Of course, I've live streamed a lot of them, but also, yeah, not doing it, not getting a chance to do it for others very much. So I don't really feel like I'm really getting to. As much as I appreciate what I experience with that, and it's not because I intend for it to be this way, but it feels kind of selfish. It feels like it's kind of like it's all for me, Although that's one reason why I post it. Other than showing that it's possible, is that you know it. Then if people want to ask me to do for them, or they just get something from the experience I'm having. You know, so age 20 to 30 is called the adult years, adulthoods. I thought that was way more than 30. Oh, middle adulthood, old age, blah 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 blah. Yeah, and it's still wild to think that I knew someone last year who passed at 32, and then someone at 104 a few months later. It's just that spectrum is just mind-boggling. Uh, Late bloomers often follow unconventional paths. Any thoughts on anything I'm saying, Jacqueline? There must be some floating around. Try and catch them and put them into the comments. I appreciate it. Quietly developing key qualities and skills while being overlooked. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Persistence, resilience, and ambition enable them to thrive when the right opportunity arises, even later in life. A few years ago, I got diagnosed with. Oh, really? Okay. In fact, I was thinking about a couple of them recently. I feel like I saw one out recently, but I didn't. A couple of people I've known with that, um, and truth told, they were kind of challenging connections. But one of them did not own up to having it. And so anytime, he'd mentioned it, I think, at one point. So sometimes he'd act a certain way, and I'd say this, and he'd say, "Don't bring my disorder into it." It's like, I'm just asking if that's what's bringing this about, since you said you have it, kind of thing. I think he was in denial, didn't really, it's that one's always been a tricky one to me, though, because like people naturally feel a range of emotions. So how do they difference that between that? Same with ADHD, for that matter. I mean, people always focus on a lot of different things. Whether it's with the internet or just in general. Like, I mean, everything that I knew before or were before changed. And that's where we had to be careful using words like everything, because I don't really feel like that can't be accurate. It was G.I. Joe said, knowing is half the battle. Was it? Okay. True. My eyes have opened. I know what was wrong. What? Oh, okay. And what was right. Okay. I was so proud of my accomplishments. Well, that's good professionally, but understood that I made it based on fear of not being someone or disappointing the standards set by family and society. I was so proud of my accomplishments professionally, but understood that I made it based on fear of not being someone. Okay, well, that's unfortunate that it didn't feel more natural, but, and you know, someone, what we all are, but um, what type of accomplishments? I think you said that you are or were a nurse. Is that what you mean? Made it based on fear of not being right. Yeah, it's unfortunate when they have certain standards, right? You know, um, now my best accomplishments are not professional. Yeah, I would relate to that mostly, or I'd like to, and I do somewhat. They are personal, and now I'm becoming again. Well, that's pretty powerful and liberating. Yeah, feel free to elaborate on any of that. I would love to hear. You're studying culinary now? Okay. I almost did that. Well, I did do it kind of in high school, and then I almost went into a program, an apprenticeship program, but I moved after right after high school graduation, and I don't know, maybe I would have been more suited for it then. These days, I'm so picky in particular, and the loud noises, probably not. um, but Yeah, I think I have pretty high testosterone. Um, but the second person, feel free to weigh in as well. Just so you know, I could probably only roll for another 15 to 25 minutes. Uh, but I have lots of stuff posted, lots of live streams and this and that. So you're welcome to check out those too. But got a little bit more time. But it's been a long day, and I think we're going to be looking forward to a nap soon. But there is something I kind of want to say, though, in a moment that relates a lot to what you're saying, Jackson. So just a moment here. But you keep commenting, it's fine. Um, and the other person too, for that matter. Um, you just got to put a lot of layers on because it's pretty cold out, so it's taking a bit of time. Um, sorry, but definitely, I appreciate your patience. I do want to touch on something in just a moment here. I'm just finishing looking at a list and waiting for G to go. Wow, Einstein's up 10 hours a day. So I should be the next Einstein then. Just kidding. uh, yeah, and again, it's bringing me right into this, which is not the way I was looking at it. But so I was recently mentioning that, and that was a good segue. I was recently mentioning that G's sister, who is a nurse, um, once said on the phone, and actually, I was trying to go to a community event, which would have been both educational for all of us on about autism, and possibly would have found out about some opportunities. But she decided to. She said, "If I don't call by tomorrow, that means I'll bring you." And then she called tomorrow and says, "I was looking at the website. It doesn't look like it would be suitable for you, and he just needs to go out there and get a job, essentially." Um, and I talked more about it in my podcast just last night, I think. The longer one, and if the live chat shows, you'll see Leanne, Kathleen, and Emily in it. And I think I even put that in a comment. I thanked them. Oh, and I got a second like. Was that from you, Jacqueline? Or the other person? Thank you. Anyway, and yeah, I mean, easier said than done when you have, okay, cool. When you have, thanks for remembering, when you have challenges, and some people would say we all do, but in the employment sector, or whatever you want to call it, sometimes a lot of us do a lot more. Um, and what is the root cause for it? Neurobiological rather than personality driven. For instance, individuals with ADHD, autism, dyslexia, and related conditions often experience. As long as you try and stay balanced, and like I say, as long as you root everything in kindness and let me know, what you're struggling with if you're struggling. So I have an idea, and try not to take anything as a judgment, but just as like opinions or suggestions, which you can take or not take. That's, I think, that the way that we can make it work, while you're dealing with what you're dealing with there. Um, Related conditions, since the time passes differently, okay. Um, Again, this is more about puberty, which is not what I was looking for. uh, can geniuses be a late bloomer? The term is used metaphorically to describe Others lower than others in their age group, but essentially catches up, in some cases overtakes their peers, or an adult whose talent or genius in particular field only appears later in life than is normal. Thoughts about that? I sometimes think it's that the other people just aren't able to understand it at first. By the time that you find success as a late bloomer, you're more able to navigate it. It's an interesting concept. Anyway, if there's anything else you'd like to say on the topic, I welcome either of you to put it in now. No pressure, because I'm going to have to wrap up soon. I wish I could keep rolling. If this was a during the week, most but not all days, I could. And I'm still trying to post once or twice daily. And keeps feeling like it's Saturday, but it is actually Friday. True enough. Oh no, is it? Yes, because we were at the doctor's. But Saturday, because he had an appointment and yeah, so um, don't have a whole lot of plans on the weekend. Um, Other than good eating and maybe some stuff around the house. So I'll probably be rolling. If there's a song you'd like me to sing a snippet of, either of you, feel free to say it. I don't know if I'd do a full one, but she's probably going to be back very, very soon. And quite honestly, I am pretty tired. So it's not completely dark outside yet, but yeah. So, is there anything else you'd like to say on any of this stuff mentioned? Go for it and forego it. Ironically, that seems to have the same meaning. Hmm. But yeah, it. I will say though that this is a topic that if it isn't obvious, I do quite strongly relate to. Not in all things, and not at all points in my life, but and it's one I've not really even thought of to talk. Not necessarily not that I've thought of to talk about very much, but from this kind of angle, and it looks like now none of you. Oh, maybe, but yeah, it's yeah. I don't know really. I feel like there's more stuff I could say about it, but I'm not really sure what it is. Um, Other than that, I'm ready to bloom and blossom, and I am doing it a little a little each day. I know, whether it's in a live stream or otherwise, I am, and sometimes I notice I'm doing it more than other times, but really ready to bloom and blossom into all my potential, and it's what I wish for you all. And now he's back, so I'm gonna stop being deep. Now he's back from outer space. Just walked in. See that look funny? No, I don't like that song. Anyway, so the two that were here before may have came back a few moments ago. I'm sorry that I'm going to wrap this up in just a few. Okay, find it very hard to have genuine connections with others because I feel they are not genuine with their own selves. That's very interesting. That's another. It doesn't. I mean, in a social concept, it kind of fits with it. But I also feel like it's also kind of maybe its own topic. Gee, do you maybe want to play a couple songs on the piano? Because I have three people here right now, and one of them's chatting. Took a bit of time for them to arrive, so you're all late. You're late bloomers. You're trying to find your bloomers. Um, I feel they're not. That's unfortunate. I feel like a lot of people aren't very genuine, but I also feel like a lot of people are. Um, and it's being able to figure out who is and who isn't. I would like to think that we all would want to be genuine. Um, and then you say with their own selves. Well, a lot of people don't know themselves very well. That is true. Or they're telling themselves lies. I don't know. And also, they have little to no patience to really deeply understand. Yeah, empathy is very important. Patience is hard, but also very important. Um, and I, being on the spectrum, autism spectrum, I relate to that, is really a gift, even if it sounds silly. It can be. Um, I don't know if silly is the word I'd use, but yeah, I almost thought, I think he was just walking around the dog. I almost thought G was like wanting to say something there. Yeah, since it's still a little bit bright out, although not much in the room. Um, oh, I'm looking forward to those baked goodies later and a nice cup of coffee. I might roll again later tonight, if that would work for any of y'all. Well, now it says it's one of you, but I'm thinking it's Jacqueline because I don't think I don't think I think if it was you that left, you'd say that you had to go. So I'm assuming you're still here, enjoying this chat, relating. Um, and yeah, if you're able to come back a little later this evening, but he is getting settled at the piano now, so you get to hear. I don't think you've heard, possibly not even met G yet. I seem to remember one morning I was rolling and you were watching, and he plays piano every morning on a work day before work. I don't think he did it today, come to think of it, but because he didn't go to work today, even though it's Friday, so he's getting that time in now, I guess. um, Largely classical, unlike myself, but we do all kinds of we do various music, and 'tis the season, right? So also that, but I don't know the classical stuff. Even if I recognize it, I feel like it doesn't get stuck in my head quite well. I shouldn't say that, but before now, that's what I'm thinking. But he's getting in the mode, so I'll let him play one or two songs for you, and we can, yeah. Um, why do you think? How do you define being on the autism spectrum as a gift? I'm curious, and also, why do you think it sounds silly? I've heard that before, but what are you doing, G? Oh, you're getting incense. Okay, I've heard. Well, was that, I don't know if I'm going to be playing long enough to make it worth lighting it, but it always goes the other way with fan. I don't know if I've discovered how it's a gift from me or not, and it feels a little silly to say that, but yeah, I do. What other kinds of accomplishments and things did you say? Did you mean that you're working on that are not in a professional sense? I've just said a whole bunch to our one viewer and commenter, so now I'm kind of gonna let the piano fill the gaps until she comments again. But you're welcome to look at the conversation, get an idea as to what we're talking about, or request a song, and I'll whirl for another 10 or 15 minutes. And then, yeah, you're welcome to join in. Where's the dog? Oh, really? Was the gate open though? Or that he might be getting into something? I'll be right back. I don't want to be too much out of this. This is just, I almost wrapped up, but myself so much. Fold it like that. Jacqueline, are you there still? You retracted a message for some reason. Right away. look like anybody's still here, to be honest. So I might wrap up. I don't know. Good to let him have a bit of time too. Yeah, got a little resident, so that's why I pay for the voice to go on vacation. Somebody says I don't know straight my husband. I haven't caught up with now that you mention it. That's something, right? That is quite what's the word? Neat. An advancement. I would take it as a dinner's table. It's a black thing. I think there's a movie called that. It's a statue. I accidentally clicked marketplace. I did just think of a great comment though for that. What next week's a new week? don't know if she thought that I wrapped up. Didn't see the duration with me. Didn't see me there. Thought that it finished. That's a good reminder to go. Okay, so Chelsea did work on that, and there was quite a few that she put there. So that was nice when the chat says hello. When somebody in the chat says hello, company. Whether they're still there, but because it's not just about chatting with somebody. I mean, that's the main thing, but everybody chatting with each other is also nice. Well, we get upstairs because the dog's ready for his nap and we're ready for it pretty much. And I also need a beverage. Nice. Okay, you ready for the thing, Jake? Sure. Okay, I'll be right with you after these massages. Yeah. Massages are good. It depends on the people. Milking the daylight, are you? Your woman was on news. I didn't say that. Group where we all pretend to be Democrats. I'm gonna put
And then put the
Stuff that I
cold
don't really want to
corn
be in this world.
compress on my knee for a bit.
Sorry?
I'm going to put some cold corn on my knees for a
That's
bit.
not funny, but it's what we have as a nice pack. Okay, so if anybody would like to kind of, I think our comment is about left now, and I was almost going to wrap up, but since he's going to sit for a few moments, and we have,
This incense smells like
no,
it's
maybe not.
myrrh.
Maybe I'll just sit and watch him doing that because he's also enjoying the incense, and it looks like the person left.
Oh.
So the shoo-ba-doo-doo. Just make sure that
There
it's
is
not
some,
opened yet, eh?
Huh?
It's not been opened yet.
Yeah, it's been open.
Okay, just be careful.
Yeah. It's what it smells like to me is myrrh, which is nice because I like myrrh.
Actually, I don't like this.
Oh.
They don't let you touch them out. Like, oh, I just talking about them on YouTube. But I'm not interested in that.
That's a bit better.
But yeah, there's a side topic there. I could do a song. I almost feel more like the latter, but either to the person that just tuned in, and I've got okay, you left. I'm leaving to do that. Shoo-ba-doo, but numerology, I tell you sometimes. Do-ba-doo-doo. And who is this? Really now? Everything is the only truth. Shoo-ba-doop-doop-ba-doop. Yeah, it's like a big it's just mystery such surprise to find out if there is something to there and hopefully, we shouldn't be charged anything for it to be delivered if so.
Oh.
Uh, but I don't know how big it would, but if it wasn't there then we couldn't have gotten it today anyway. Depending on anybody, I could go pick it up. I could possibly. But when we find out like depending how big it is, I could always go pick it up Wednesday while you're at the doctor.
You're required to present identification.
Really? Well, that's
That's what it says on
well, I can show mine then. It has the same address, but
yes, we'll find out.
what do you call it? The
It's addressed to.
I
It's
was
addressed to me,
either gonna get a ride back or actually no, I'm
Okay.
thinking
They'll keep it for 15 days.
probably
so
bus there and back.
maybe I can
Or
even
walk
get it
there.
done on Wednesday when I have a doctor's.
That's what I'm just saying.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Lord. You express things differently.
What's this?
I obviously wasn't listening. We express things differently.
Yeah, I mean you're sure sometimes. Not you. You do not.
Yes, we do. I express things much differently.
Why say that? Make me feel odd.
Oh, what's
We
that?
don't. We don't really.
I'm not meaning anything bad by it. Everything that we have our own.
I mean, sometimes for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Our
you're
ways
too.
of speaking have influenced each other for sure.
Uh huh. Really?
But,
That's an interesting topic.
oh, well,
Well,
sure.
oh, like
Now
that.
you're on the spot, happy. I've
I
got to
wouldn't
say
have you any other way.
I have to say something interesting. I don't know if I
I'd
can
prefer
say
that, yeah.
something interesting.
Usually,
I can only say boring things. Anyway, we're being silly.
you still sound like that at least.
If I were to say I see trees of green, that would be an example of your way of talking.
Yeah, I don't say it often anymore, but I do occasionally.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I even throw in some red voices.
Certainly.
Was
Yes,
it?
you can upload your vocals to soon, or we'll do a track.
Lovey dovey, sweet. Yeah, I'd say that. Well, you did say that one and possibly that one. Yeah, okay. I guess there's some examples then.
Oh, there you go.
I'm sorry?
I suppose next time one happens, I'll mention it to you.
They will, eh?
You know, try to suddenly.
But us Canadians don't say that. So, I appreciate the person that just tuned in. There's been a bit of activity, not a lot, but there's been a bit. I am going to be wrapping it up though, but you're welcome to look at the title. Okay, you left, I think. So I'll sing the more.